And there we go.
So I woke up way too early on the morning after the inauguration, which was the same day as Martin Luther King holiday. These events rarely fall on the same day, and it really seems ironic to me that this occurred this year, since, as I understand it, Martin Luther King and our new president hold such opposite values and strategies. I woke up too early, feeling stress and distress, couldn't fall back to sleep. I don't know how to respond. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to avoid, what to do, what to restrain. The thing I do know, and I suppose I'm doing it right now, is I will respond through Dharma teaching. It always helps me to see difficult situation through the lens of the Dharma. Another thing that we'll be doing with the hosts and the teachers for this daily online meditation and this podcast is we'll be getting together and clarifying our directions together with teaching reflective meditation during these political times. What is our role as reflective meditation Dharma teachers in this political crisis that seems to be overlapping, or doesn't seem to be, it is overlapping with other crises like the LA fires? Is it appropriate in my role to even call the political situation a crisis? Though we always teach from what we know from experience, we search for words for our experience, and then we teach to it. And you too, you need to find your own words for what's going on politically, environmentally. Maybe your word is challenge or crisis or catastrophe or I don't know. You need to find your words. And I noticed for myself that with so many of these crises piling up one upon another, I quickly in my consciousness move on to the next one. And there's only so much I can take in before I feel I'll be overwhelmed by the trauma of it all. So I'm a member of a reflective meditation study group. And a few days ago, we met and we studied an article from a Western philosopher. His name is Adam Robert. And what he wrote about seemed closely aligned with many reflective meditation Dharma understandings. Of course, he's looking at this through a different lens, different conceptual framework, different languaging. I'm going to read a paragraph from this article he wrote, which is called Attention is an Art Form, with the subtitle on cultivating silence for a specific kind of receptivity. You might notice from the subtitle right there how it overlaps with what we are doing together in reflective meditation. Here's the reading. Attention becomes not just an art, but a transformation when we learn to stay present with what we cannot grasp or resolve, allowing our very inability to understand become a new mode of being. The genius of thought in this view lies not in conquering intellectual territory, but in cultivating the patience and humility to dwell at its borders. What Wheel names, who's referenced earlier in the article, as, quote, extreme humiliation, end quote, is not self-abasement, but rather the experience of being brought low before what exceeds us, a necessary descent that perceives any genuine insight. This humiliation becomes humility when we learn to dwell in it without resistance, when we allow our confrontation with what we cannot know to transform our very way of knowing. Now, I think the language that we use here in reflective meditation for what he's talking about might be we might use the word uncertainty. Now, other Buddhist groups use the term don't know mind. But whatever wording is used, it seems like this is a valued state of mind in Buddhism. And also, it turns out, according to the Adam Robert, the man I quoted before. So what I do know is this is my aspiration, to have the humility to not yet know what to do about this political upheaval, to have the patience to wait until I know more clearly, and then hopefully to have some insights come out of my uncertainty. So now I'm going to quote somebody else. And this was an article that came into my inbox from on that same day, Inauguration, Martin Luther King's birthday, by Margaret Carter, who was a former Democratic senator here in Oregon and the first Black woman elected to the Oregon legislature. And here's what she has to say. Every defeat, every loss, every heartbreak contains its own seed, its own lesson on how to perform your performance. And God knows we're going to have to this in the next 4 years. Now, Margaret Carter used the word performance. I wouldn't choose that word. I, of course, go for a more word that I find more on the Buddhist path, which is more appropriate action and appropriate speech. Back to Margaret Carter, though. Dr. King said the ultimate measure of a man, and you can fill in whatever gender you'd like there, is not where, I'll change this to they, stand in moments of comfort and convenience, but where they stand in moments of challenge and controversy. And it's on with this incoming administration. So today I'm sitting here at that edge. I am brought low before what exceeds me. I am experiencing a descent and hoping, but then when I thought about it, it feels a little bit more like pleading or praying. May this be a necessary descent that precedes any genuine insight. May my confrontation with what I cannot know transform my way of knowing. And may this lead to skillful actions that may, in some small ways, help. And so I will end the talk there.